Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday live stream. I just saw probably the most perfect price prediction for Ethereum from Van Eck. I'm going to share it with you today. I got to tell you, it is a work of marvelous art. Also, we're going to talk about Trump, and he's going to talk about how he's actually kept his promises. And then we're going to take a look at some spreads and what's going on with Coinbase. And I got to tell you, it's a travesty. So let's just jump right into it. So first of all, I love price predictions. I find them all to be completely worthless, but very entertaining, which is essentially what this channel is all about. Entertainment with a little bit of education sprinkled in there. And today I was perusing on the X and I saw this. This is from Van Eck, which pretty respected in the space. And I said, look, this is probably the best price prediction I've seen almost ever. I mean, almost as good as mine. Now, if you're not familiar with this, we actually have talked about this in the multiple videos. Last one I did was the one from 2021, where I said everybody was wrong. And we just did an updated one a couple of weeks ago where I said everybody was wrong again in 2025. So when you look at these price predictions, just take them with a grain of salt. I say that Bitcoin will be somewhere this year between $5 and $500 million, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right. But this one from Van Eck, I love it because they do a lot of research. They put a lot of time and energy into it. They're research assistants. They are ingrained into the crypto market. And this is what they came up with. First of all, the Ethereum terminal smart contract market share, the bear case would only be 15%. And this is them looking out to 2030. So right around the corner. I mean, we're looking like less than 4 years or so. So the bear case for smart contract market share, the bear case is 15%. The base case, where they think things are going to actually happen, 70%. So I believe that Ethereum will do quite well, but it's all up in the air and nobody knows. We see that Wall Street institutions and sovereign wealth funds and everybody else that is trying to get into the crypto space is using Ethereum for smart contracts and doing a lot of different things with it. We see the banks that are doing with it, JP Morgan, BNY Mellon, everybody else around the block. So a 70%, that is the lion's share of the marketplace. And if they can do that, so much the better. They talk about revenue. This looks like this is in millions. So that's 361 billion will be the bull case. It's quite a bit. 2 billion or 78 billion, and then on down the line, so on and so forth. But the big thing, and I have to give respect for Van Eck to actually pull this off, the bear case. I don't know if this is a typo, but the bear case for the token price for Ethereum in 2030 is $360. However, the bull case is $154,000. And again, kudos to Van Eck for putting out a price prediction that actually makes sense because they're all disgusting. I could say this was a breath of fresh air today. I appreciate this. And the base case was 22,000. So again, shout out to Van Eck. I just thought it was funny because let's be honest, the market is a little bit boring. It's chopping sideways. I know you're tired of it. I get tired too, but there is entertainment around the corner, and that's what it is. Also, if you want to check out those videos, there's a link in the description on the crypto critical videos. I think I just got the first one, the 2021. 2025, everybody was wrong again. It's the same thing, same song and dance again. But yeah, price predictions, they never cease to amaze me with just how wrong they are. So moving from price prediction to something you can actually use, Ivan on tech. I had Ivan on for the 12 days of Christmas, and he gave away, or he did like a massive discount for his training program. And I'm taking a look at it right now. It's quite expansive, very good stuff. And one of his posts, and I need these things as a reminder. And he talks about how, look, the 200-week moving average is right around the corner, and if that happens, this is the time to actually buy. And I was thinking about it, and as far as like moving averages go, again, I'm not a big TA guy, but I can see it. When Ivan was on, I asked him, I go, why do you TA guys love the 50-week simple moving average so much? You talk about it so much, you think it's like the best thing of all time. And he says, no, it's not. Because the only thing that's great about it is because everybody uses it and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. He goes, so if I see it, that means other traders are going to see it and they're going to react to it. And those guys are going to react to that and then down the line. So I was like, that doesn't make sense. It is a herd mentality, right? So with this one, I'm taking a look at moving average and 200-week simple moving average. And it can be simple or exponential, depending on how everyone wants to take a look at it. But he's absolutely right. when we get to the 200-week moving average, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. If you're a TA person, correct me here, but these were great times to buy. Below the 200-week moving average, the last time previously was March of 2020 when Bitcoin was 3,800. And it just stayed there for a very small amount of time. If you would have picked up Bitcoin, you would have crushed it just about 8 months later when everything went up massively. And I actually remember in April 2021, we went from, $3,000 all the way up to 64,000. Not too bad. And then, of course, it jumped down again below after April. We had that nice little flush out. And you could have picked up Bitcoin for 19,000, 18,000, 23,000, 21,000, 17,000, and so on and so forth. And we haven't seen that again. And here we are. So when the 200-week moving average does get down to this point, and I'm just telling you that the point that we're seeing here is 57,340. Now, we can take a look at the exponential moving average of the EMA. It's a little bit higher at 67, 68. Right now, we're roughly at 90,000. Again, it's something to be aware of. And I think that if you get to this area, and I'll be talking about this a lot of people will be talking about it as well. For me, that's a great time to buy. Now, me personally, you know my stance. I am short-term bearish, but I continue to buy Bitcoin every single day. And because of that, I am given up to the fact that I screwed up in 2022, did this thing called micro DCAing, and I should have went heavier. Now, as we go into these risk levels, this is something completely different. This is what I call dynamic DCAing. The risk level is rapidly approaching to go below 0.4. This is on Ben's website. You want to check it out, links in the description. This is pretty much what I use here. And once it goes below 0.4, I will not be buying Bitcoin. I won't be doubling up Bitcoin. I'll be tripling up what I buy for Bitcoin as it slips below these levels. Now, going into that wonderful realm of 67,000 would put us roughly right above 0.3, of which I will be quadrupling my buys for Bitcoin. And if it goes below that into the 0.2s, it'll be 5x of what I buy every single day. Now, that's just me. I'm just telling you that unless the banana zone people come through and we get a massive run because of massive liquidity, regulation comes to top, and we also get PMI, or the business cycle, comes in above 50, which means that there's an expansion. If we don't see that, we will see another, I believe, another 4-year cycle bottom, and we'll go from there. Anyhow, let me know what you think about that in the comments section. And then also, speaking of business cycles and what's going on, because this is a midterm year, Donald Trump. Promises were made, and I think promises are actually being kept. Here's the White House press secretary as she answers a question from Bitcoin Magazine. And it comes down to, is there going to be a tax minimus of what they're actually charging for every transaction that we do? Because if you go out and use your TANGEM wallet or Ledger or whatever you're using, and you buy coffee with it for some crazy reason that some person has available, if you do that, you're going to pay capital gains, just so you know. So the de minimis talk here is saying, okay, if you spend less than $600 per transaction, you won't have any capital gains. On top of that, she also talks about the Clarity Act, which looks to be going through, which I'm surprised. If this happens, oh, this would be great. Take a listen to this. This is about a minute and a half. I just want you guys to hear it from the horse's mouth. Here we go.
Well, the president did signal his support for a de minimis exemption for crypto, and the administration continues to be in support of that. We are definitely receptive to it to make crypto payments easier and more efficient for those who seek to use crypto as simple as buying a cup of coffee. Of course, right now that cannot happen, but with the de minimis exemption, perhaps it could in the future, and we will continue to explore legislative solutions to accomplish that.
So they're saying they support it. That's good. She did not say they're going full force and it's going to be signed anytime soon. Just to be clear, didn't say anything about it's coming out, just said they support it. So if we want to hear that in the comment section, that is the truth. Now let's talk about Clarity Act.
As for the central bank digital currency and the Genius Act, which you noted has passed through Congress and will be sent to the president's desk. I believe the House is voting on it. If they haven't, they should be passing it. We know we have the votes, and we expect it to get to the president's desk, and we are planning a signing ceremony tomorrow afternoon. All of you will get more details on that. this piece of legislation is going to make America the crypto capital of the world. And that's what the president promised. As for a central bank digital currency, the president opposes that. He made that promise to the American people on the campaign. And while it's not in this specific piece of legislation, he did sign a January executive order banning a central bank digital currency.
Okay, two things. First of all, not the Clarity Act, Genius Act. I apologize. Clarity Act is going to be up for vote. Hopefully will pass onto the president's desk in March, as it was revealed yesterday. We'll see that actually happens. Genius Act, all has to do with stable coins. But she did say, executive order, shooting down central bank digital currencies. That is a good thing. So hopefully this will be promises kept. And let's finish up here for the last 15 seconds.
The administration supports Congress's efforts to codify that executive order into law. And I believe there will be future pieces of legislation in regards to crypto that will be moving through Capitol Hill. President looks forward to signing them, and he looks forward to the signing ceremony this afternoon. So
I look forward to him pumping my bags. So hopefully that works out. Fantastic. I'd like to see some good news, especially as the market's quite sideways. And to finish up, before we get into a little Q&A here, the spreads. If you're like me and you're buying Bitcoin every single day, it gets kind of tedious. Not because it's hard, it's easy, especially when you set it up on automatic payments and such like that. But I think we're all getting ripped off. And I talked about this actually. There was, gosh, where'd I put it here? In here, there's a link in the description of every single one of my videos where I say, beat the spread on exchanges. And why I'm talking about this again, this is from Roger Patel O'Connor. And he's talking about Bitcoin is one of the most liquid assets in the world. That's true. The most liquid assets in the world. I know gold and silver is going up, but try spending that across the world. Very difficult. IBIT expense ratio is 25 basis points. The worst fee tier on Binance is 10 basis points taker for spot. On-chain is even cheaper, less than 7 basis points. It is impossible to square increasing economic freedom in the world with charging retail greater than 250 basis points. And he gives an example on my least favorite exchange of all time, Coinbase. As it's sitting here, is they bought $490 worth of Bitcoin, and it includes a 1% spread, which is $9.20, which gives them a total of $500. So look, there's a couple of ways around this. First of all, you can use Coinbase Pro, which is free for everybody. A little bit more involved, but you can actually definitely do it. You can watch this video on how to beat the spread on exchanges, which is a pretty great thing. And then lastly, let's see where I put it here. Oh, yeah. Did you know, I don't know where you guys are at in the world, but if you're able to get your hands on the Cash App, it has no fees for Bitcoin. Now, it has some fees if you're going to sell it, but to buy it and to maintain it, you can actually take it off the app. This is Jack Dorsey, I'm sorry. Jack Dorsey's great app. They essentially are paying or buying Bitcoin OTC, and Jack's just being Jack, trying to get Bitcoin out there. I have it set up. That is where I buy Bitcoin every single day. I don't use Kraken. I don't use Coinbase. I can't use Binance. And I like the fees the way they are. If you like to sign up, there's a link in the description. You can check out that. But if we are talking about stuff like TRON that I buy, which is an altcoin, I use Kraken. And a little congratulatory to Justin Sun and TRON. They were named the Global Blockchain Ecosystem Growth Star at the top 100, I guess, HK awards, Hong Kong awards, I guess. Hong Kong blockchain, reapps in global finance. And as a reminder, I still say that TRON is one of the best. Binance, Ethereum, Solana, TRON, I've said this many times why I think this is. Just take a look at the which rails are being used for USDC and Tether, which is 93% of all stablecoin volume. And you'll see that the top four are Binance, Ethereum, Solana, TRON. And actually yesterday we took a look at does it bleed? And TRON actually beat Bitcoin over the last 6 years. I know it sounds funny, especially if we're talking about Justin Sun, but if you go past the whole marketing ploy, TRON did pretty damn good. Anyhow, you can check all that stuff out in the description, all the videos we talked about. And then lastly, if you'd like to sign up for Kraken for somehow, I don't know how this happened, But usually it's $25 when you sign up and you trade a certain amount. I think it's like $100, something like that. I've got 10 more links to give away where you get $75 when you sign up. So this was supposed to have gone away in the 12 days of Christmas. I guess not everybody used it. But if that's you and you want to sign up for Kraken, I mean, it's got some of the best spreads out there. It's got everything you want or probably may need. Link in the description, you can check that out. And that's it for today. So look, like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. We talk about is relatively time sensitive. Now let's get into a little Q&A, answer all your questions, and we'll go from there. Conrad says, tell me you have Tron without telling me you have Tron. I just told you I have Tron. I have a big fat bag of Tron. Actually, I was buying Tron every day a couple 8 months ago, 10 months ago, or something like that. But, you know, it gets so big and then you're like, well, I should lay off. Unfortunately, I didn't take the profits like I should have with Tron, but it'll be just fine. And I know people, especially in the States, people say, why do you even like that stuff? It's not me. It's just who actually uses it. If you take a look at the different exchanges, there's a ton of different TRX pairs, and Justin Sun did a great job. And again, if you're doing anything in like Southeast Asia or Asian regions, everybody's using Tether on Tron. I found that out the hard way. That's it. Let's see. Golfers here. Vero Beach, very nice. Glad that you could tune in. Let's see. The Shaolin says, everything bleeds to Bitcoin over time. True. And I can't time top to sell at the right time with my S coins that temporarily go up more than Bitcoin once every 4 years. It's true. It's just easier for most people just to do Bitcoin. Like my portfolio now is, I think it's well over 80%. But before the whole damage that's what's happening, it was around 70, 75. And then, of course, now, of course, the valuation of alts go down, and now it's over 80. So just how it is. I'm relatively content. I mean, worked out okay. I wish the alts would have gone up, but these things happen. That's why you diversify and you kind of go for a little bit least risky as much as possible. Let's see. Cookie is here. Plato, thank you for gifting a Digital Asset News membership to somebody. I appreciate it, or someone's going to appreciate it. Luke says, has McDonald's released the McTriple Rib yet? Can't believe it's on a McRib coin. What he's talking about is apparently, this might have been started by George over at Cryptos R Us, where he talked about whenever the McRib gets released and Bitcoin pumps, it's another useless metric. It's, but it's fun, adorable. Let's see. I set Cash App for my teens, but kids can't transfer Bitcoin off of Cash App. I guess they'd have to hold until they're 18. I guess so. That's pretty good of you, Echo, doing that for the kids. Let's see. Wow. Fidelity is 1% to buy or sell Bitcoin. Now you know why these institutions are getting in so heavy. Maybe it's not because they do believe in it. Maybe they just believe in these fat fees they could charge you. That's how it goes. CZ loves the pump zone bags. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm holier than thou. I'd like to do the same thing. It's just true. Let's see. BA says, F cryptos scam buy silver. Yeah, nothing wrong with buying silver. Go buy silver and buy. Look, I don't understand why what the whole deal is with the precious metal guys and gals and the crypto people. We all want the same thing. We all know that the currency, any fiat around the world is getting debased by the government. That's happened since the beginning of time. So we shouldn't really be fighting. We're on the same side. We're just going through different directions to get there. Like I own gold. I own a little silver, but not like some people. And nothing wrong with holding all that stuff. Like I own that. I own some stocks. I own some properties. Just trying to diversify. Just trying to get out of this crazy world, you know? I bought silver 20 years ago, a little early. As long as you held on, that's what counts. China isn't buying Bitcoin. They sure aren't, but they sure are buying a lot of gold. Yeah. Silver's getting artificially pumped right now because of China. I think it is China. And then, but, you know, people will say, well, you know, silver is used heavily for electrical components. And of course, we're going to need a massive amount of electricity because of artificial intelligence and the electric race and how much power consumption we're going to need for compute. I have to tell you, it's a pretty good argument. However, you take a look at the most needed metals for compute and electrical output, it's copper. And copper really hasn't done too much lately. It's gone up a little bit. So why is it that people talk about silver and gold and all of its important aspects and bringing it to AI? I think it's just one more thing. But the reason why silver and gold are pumping so much is mostly because of two things: momentum and speculation. And that's it. And that's pretty much, and of course people will say, well, there's factors into it, that it's a great store of value, you can use it for jewelry, you can use it for conduction, electrical. Yeah, I get all that. But did that change from 2 years ago? No, it didn't. It's just because of speculation and momentum. Because of momentum getting, by like the Shaolin talks about, different central banks, China buying it up and everybody are getting caught into it, you have a massive amount of momentum, and all of a sudden you have more people speculating on it. There's a reason why there were lines around the block for people to buy gold. Nothing changed on gold. Just people just said, hey, maybe I should get a lot of this because the central banks are getting it. And maybe I should get a lot more of it because the price is going up. It's the same argument that the precious metal guys talk to us about that. And you know what? We're all right. It's true. Speculation momentum is a hell of a thing. All right. That's a lot of stuff. Let's see. Oh, Echolie says, I bought my husband 4 1-ounce silver rounds for anniversary. Doing well. See, I'm sure your husband's very happy. Yeah, and then Tommy says, and that's another thing, Chinese government putting restrictions on it. That's true. I think there is some type of output that they're leveraging against the shipping and embargoes, I guess, of silver. So again, speculation, momentum. Let's see. Silver supply is not even elastic. Most is coming from mixed metal mining. Oh man, I can't even think of a more boring topic than talking about precious metals. I mean, look, crypto right now is boring. And I don't want to fall into that trap. You don't win friends with salad. And DS Texas, and is right, China and Russia are buying gold and silver because they don't trust the United States. Very true. I thought that China would move towards competing with us to be the leader of the crypto superpower as far as Bitcoin, but they haven't picked up that mantle. They're really trying to compete with us with AI, as well they should. So we'll see. Let's see. Crypto is looking bad. Anyone buying strategies for the 11% dividends? I think that's... Roberto says, you used to love Coinbase? Roberto, when was the last time you watched my videos? I'm just curious. Let's see. Do you own any Monero? I don't. I think that's it. Okay, everybody. That's good. 23 minutes. That's a great time frame. Anyhow, that's it for today. Like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe, and all that great stuff. Tomorrow we'll be with Jerry V. Hall. He'll be on the show, and we'll go from there. So everybody, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. See you guys in the next one. Adios.